Welcome to DIFM Live. I'm Robin Keller. I'm your podcast interviewer and training and events advisor here at Northwest Industrial Resource Center. We created this podcast to give you an inside look at the work that we do every day to support manufacturers and the challenges that they're navigating. Now, our conference is 2 weeks away from today, and we will be at the Erie Bayfront Convention Center on March 25th. Our doors open at 8:30. I hope to see you there. So let's get to the guest. I am so excited. We have a rock star on today. His name is Brandon Kegley, and he serves as a research assistant at C&J Industries. That's a precision medical injection molding manufacturer in Northwest Pennsylvania. And he reports directly to the president and CEO. He has 16 years of manufacturing experience, and he supports strategic research, operational improvement, modernization initiatives across the organization. And he's going to be at our conference. So let's get started. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, thanks for having me, Robin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm just going to dive right in. So to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you found your way into a research role in manufacturing?
Yeah, certainly. I've been at C&J for 16 years. I started out working directly in manufacturing, so I learned the production environment from the ground up. Over time, I became interested in understanding the bigger picture, like why things work the way they do and how we can improve them. That curiosity naturally evolved into helping the company research new technologies, equipment, industry, trends, and opportunities. Today, my role focuses on supporting leadership and operations by researching ways we can improve efficiency, reduce costs, and prepare for the future.
So, when people hear research assistant, they think like academia. How does research show up day to day in manufacturing specifically?
Well, research in manufacturing is very practical. It's not academic research, it's problem solving. So some days that means analyzing operational data like scrap or process flow performance. Other times it can mean researching new equipment, automation technologies, or even grant opportunities that could support capital investments. I also spend some time researching things like energy cost savings, utility options, and sustainability opportunities, such as solar. It's really about gathering information that helps the company make better decisions.
Now, you said this is kind of a newer role at your company. So what does a typical day look like for you? And is there such a thing as typical in your role?
Well, there really isn't a typical day, which is one of the things that I really enjoy about the role. One day I might be researching grant programs or energy efficiency opportunities, like I mentioned, or another day I could be analyzing production data or helping investigate a process issue on the manufacturing floor. A lot of work involves connecting information from different areas, from operations, engineering, finance, and leadership, so we can make informed decisions is the basis of it.
So what kind of questions or problems are you usually helping the company solve and answer through the research?
A lot of questions revolve around improving operations or planning for the future. For example, we might look at ways to reduce scrap or improve process flow consistency, evaluate automation or newer automation that's out there, or equipment investments. Looking into the energy cost savings has been a big one. Right now, all the energy costs are through the roof anymore, so whatever we can do to help get costs down is great. As well as exploring grant opportunities that supports manufacturing improvements. The goal is to provide leadership with clear information so they can make the best decisions for the company.
Well, how does that work support engineers, your operators, and your leadership teams?
Well, research kind of acts as a support function across the organization. Engineers benefit from outside research when evaluating new processes, equipment, or technologies. Operators benefit with research from improvements to procedures or to help identify root causes and issues. And leadership benefits because they have better data and insight when making long-term strategic decisions.
Can you share an example of a project where your research directly influenced a decision that improved the work on the shop floor specifically?
Yeah, I have a couple actually. One example was improving how we analyze production data, particularly our scrap reporting. By digging deeper into how data is tracked and interpreted, we can identify areas where improvements in process control and reporting can reduce waste. Another example is researching energy cost savings and sustainability, like solar, which can have a significant long-term impact on operating costs. And most recently, one of the bigger ones that I did is I use these AI glasses with AI assistance and I build a work construction video. It's full hands-on, full perspective, full point of view. And I think it's going to change the future of training at C&J. Now operators can watch this video and get a full hands-on perspective how to run the job rather than just reading about it in like an SOP or just looking at pictures or whatever. So it'll help streamline training and make things more efficient.
Well, that sounds really cool. That kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you because honestly, AI, it's the buzzword. Love it or hate it, it is here. And so, what are you doing with it at C&J? And do you have any new initiatives other than like the glasses? That's really cool that you're using for AI.
Yeah, AI is really exciting for manufacturing. It helps us organize and analyze information more efficiently. One area that I am particularly interested in with using AI is the wearable cameras and AI tools to capture tribal knowledge from experienced employees. Many manufacturers are facing knowledge loss as experienced workers retire, and AI gives us a way to preserve that expertise and make it accessible to the new generation. So using, the new smart glasses that are out there, using CapCut and the AI that's built right into CapCut that you can utilize, going from Claude, ChatGPT to, all the chatbots that are out there. It's just making everything a lot easier and a lot easier to structure and organize things so you can make them make sense.
So, other than AI, is there any other tools or resources that you have available to you that assist you in your role, being that it is so unique?
We have our ERP system that collects all of our data. I have production reports, Excel analysis. Basically, I just, using the internet and what AI is all out there, plus tied into our own ERP data that we have. I dive around through there and, it's kind of like the meat and bones kind of how we function at C&J because we depend so much on our ERP data. So looking at that information and making sure that it's accurate and making educated decisions, that's one of the tools that I use every single day.
What is one of your favorite things about your job that you do?
One of my favorite things about my job that I do, I like helping people and I like making a difference and kind of coming up with maybe an off-the-wall solution that we hadn't thought of prior. And then once it gets brought to light, it's like, oh, well, why didn't we think that up? Why didn't we do that already? But that's just one of the things that I enjoy doing. But really, I like helping people and making people's day better by being like, hey, what can I do for you? I can look this stuff up and take a workload off your back. That's some of the stuff that I like to do to make people's day better.
I like that. Maybe your title should be problem solver instead.
It could be, yeah.
Well, from your perspective right now, what trends or challenges in manufacturing are most interesting right now that you're seeing?
I think some of the biggest challenges that I'm noticing are workforce shortages. Not saying just C&J, just from reading about it online. Knowledge transfer is a big one, and rising operating costs. Manufacturers are also facing pressure to become more efficient and more sustainable. That's where research plays an important role, helping companies evaluate technologies like all automation and energy solutions like solar and new ways to use data and AI. But really just operators and all the way up to the highest level, people are losing their employees and they're losing tribal knowledge. So I think it's really important that companies start trying to capture all that information before it ends up being too late for them.
Well, so you see data and research roles evolving in the next few years with manufacturing, because your role has obviously evolved from what it originally was, correct?
Yes. I think research roles are going to become a more important part in manufacturing, especially as everybody becomes more data driven. Companies need people who can connect operational knowledge with technology, data, and strategic planning. And AI is the big hype right now, but as a lot of people know, you get garbage in versus garbage out, whatever. So you need some people that are researching, making sure that the information that you are going to be implementing and using in AI is accurate. So that way you can build a great AI database that you can trust and fully develop it to the max capacity that can be.
You've talked a lot about energy savings. So, is there a tip or trick that you can say that through your research you found that has been extremely helpful with that process?
Um, so one of the things I've been trying to do and trying to implement at C&J, we're working with a secondary AI company right now to get to this point. But some of the older machines have the ability to read how much energy they are using, but it doesn't naturally feed it into our ERP system. So I'm researching a way to be able to capture that information. So then we can start using AI to judge how much electricity the machine's actually using. So that way you can run some reports and be like, hey, is it worth it to keep this machine? Or the new machines are far more energy efficient and the ROIs only a few years. Maybe it's time that we make an upgrade instead of wasting energy costs where it's just not sustainable long term.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the another way around that though is there's these plugs that you can get that you can just plug in. It's kind of like in the middle of your wiring, and it'll tell you how much power is being used, and then you can just feed that information into AI and have it analyze it for you.
Ooh, we got a good question from the audience. How do you suggest that companies retain data?
Retain data. I would say you're probably, some of the data is old and it's going to be literally just on pieces of paper. So there's multiple methods to capture that, but you can scan everything in using using the printer. And then you can use AI and you can pull all the text right off of the PDFs now. And then you can start building libraries from that you can search into. So pretty much you would have a giant folder full of all of your information, and then you can make that searchable by just keywords by using AI. And eventually, the technology's there, but it'll get a little bit better here soon. You'll be able to do that with your own videos too, or if you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I know how to do this? You type it in your database, and then it looks up the video that you had already made. It says, here's what you need. But to answer your question, though, a lot of it's going to be manual input, at least from my research that I have found. I haven't found a real easy way to get around it.
If you have a manufacturer they want to start implementing AI, they really have no clue where to start. Do you have a suggestion? It seems so overwhelming, I think, to a lot of manufacturers. So what do you think would be a really easy, simple thing to start with?
Personally, if I was gonna say that to anybody, I would say make a ChatGPT account, and the first thing that you do is get on there and just ask it, what are you? What can you do for me? And then just start listing all of your issues and all of your concerns. And it's going to talk to you just like a normal person. And it's going to help you kind of structure your thoughts and come up with solutions that you may never even thought of. But you're never going to know that until you actually sit down and just start playing around with it and just questioning it, fact checking it. And then you'll start to get more of an understanding of how it works and learning different ways to question or to prompt your questions so you get better answers. But you kind of just got to keep asking and keep asking and keep asking. Eventually, you'll get to where you need to be.
Do you have any good examples of something that you tried and it worked out really well in your favor?
I would say that I was learning to use those AI glasses, and I wanted to record the video professionally and make it real nice looking, but I also wanted to use AI voiceover because that's all the rave online right now. That's how I'm seeing everybody's learning stuff off of YouTube and TikTok and Facebook Shorts. And they're like, hey, how do I fix my dryer? And then a video pops up and it has the AI voice and just walks you through it. And I'm like, well, I want to learn to do that. So I just used AI to direct me to CapCut, which then it walked me through how each function worked on CapCut. And if I got stuck, I just got back onto the AI chatbot and said, hey, here, this is what I'm doing. This is where I am. What do I need to do? And then it just pretty much gives you the answer. You can even say, hey, I have a video on this older machine, and here's the model number. What do you recommend for how do you recommend that I shoot this video so it makes sense to people? And then you can kind of read what AI said and gauge, does that make sense or does it not? And then you can just kind of try it and see if it works. But on my end, it worked out really well. I made a 15-minute video on how to run one of our most complicated jobs. It's a harder job to train on. Now it's going to be fully repeatable. You're going to get repeatable processes. Everybody's going to get trained the exact same way. And you have that nice AI voiceover on there, so it makes it real smooth and it's easy to understand and hold your attention. And it just turned out really well. And unfortunately, I'm unable to show it just due to the nature of manufacturing. But
Sure, I understand. We have another really good question from the audience. And have you seen companies successfully use that kind of data to justify upgrading older equipment?
Personally, I have not seen it. I've just read about it online. I haven't physically seen it personally, but I can tell you that I can see exactly how it would line up, and it would make sense after you had the full data analysis.
So definitely worth trying. Yeah, you think definitely worth trying in manufacturing. Manufacturers should do it.
I definitely think you should.
Ooh, I have one more question that was really good from the audience. Brandon, are you an AI skeptic or optimist?
I'd say I'm probably an optimist. I like the direction that AI is going. I think it's as powerful as you want it to be. I'm just gonna say specifically just the chatbots right now because that's what's most common for people. But I think that the more we use them and the more you use them. So if you have your own account, it learns you more. It learns how you like to read, how you like to problem solve. It'll learn some of your own issues that you may have. And then when you prompt it with something else, it'll say, hey, this goes and this is the same thing that you're dealing with this. And this is how you overcome that. Just the more you use it, the more data that it learns about you. And then it makes better decisions for you. As for the future, I don't see robots taking over anything, and I don't really see a bunch of robots taking over everybody's jobs. But I do see that this is going to help streamline a lot of things for companies, and it's going to help reduce a lot of waste that we potentially may have never even thought of until it got brought to light by using AI.
That's so great. That's such a great point. And I kind of want to pivot a little bit to our conference because you're going to be there. Do you want to talk about what your topic is?
Yes. My topic focuses on capturing tribal knowledge in manufacturing and exploring how AI tools can help preserve and scale that expertise across organizations. So basically kind of what I was talking about with the smart glasses is the gist of it anyways.
Oh, I'm so excited. Definitely. I'm hoping lots of people come to your session because I think this is going to be fantastic. What would you say for manufacturers? What's like one nugget of information that they could get out of your topic at our conference?
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a good one. The goal is to show manufacturers that they don't need massive budgets or complicated systems to start capturing knowledge and improving operations. There are practical ways to begin using modern tools to strengthen their workforce and processes. Yes, there's a lot of really nice companies out there, a lot of nice AI companies, but you got to pay a lot of money for them. There are all kinds of practical ways, especially using AI to help you unlock and understand what these uh, different ways and different tools are. It's just that much easier. And then you don't have to fork out a whole bunch of money, especially if you're not sure if you really want to go that route or not. Just play around with it. And there's basic tools. AI is pretty affordable. Just monkey around and play with them and just see what you can come up with.
And definitely make sure that you're using it safely. You definitely don't want your information leaking out there unintentionally.
I would recommend making sure that you actually sign up and have an actual account and not just use when you go to their website and you don't have to log in. Because I believe that it is able to use all that information for training versus if you have an account with an email that your information's secure.
I believe you're correct on that. So companies, make sure you have a policy lined up and a paid version. If listeners could remember just one thing about the role of research in manufacturing, what would you want it to be?
Research in manufacturing is really about curiosity and asking better questions. When you understand your processes, costs, and opportunities more clearly, then better decisions will follow. So that's basically that's what I hope everybody will get at.
And how can people learn more about your work and your company?
You can learn more by going to cjindustries.com. Obviously, we have a LinkedIn and we have a Facebook as well. And I'll also be speaking at the Driving Impact for Manufacturers Conference in the area March 25th if you wanted to talk to me then. But yeah, I would check C&J out just right on their website or, check out their LinkedIn. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I have one last question for you, and that's any final advice for manufacturers looking to better use data and research in their operations?
Yeah, start small and stay curious. Look closely at your processes, your data, and your knowledge that your people have. Often the biggest opportunities for improvement are already inside the organization. Just make sure you're looking and talking to your people.
I love that. So everybody stay curious. Check out Brandon, check out C&J Industries, and check us out at DIFM Driving Impact for Manufacturers on March 25th. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.